Okay, here's how Miro works. See, it's amazing.
What's everyone doing at David's desk?
Ever since marketing started using Miro's collaborative online whiteboard, he thinks all our other teams should sign up.
Why?
He says Miro's making his meetings disappear. And if every team gets on it, that means even less meetings. They're using Miro for brainstorms, mind maps, customer research.
So could we use Miro instead of having another 100 meetings for every round of feedback?
Yep. You can comment, react to ideas, even leave a recording on the board.
And what about presentations?
There are Miro templates for that.
How do you know so much about Miro?
I've actually been using it all along. I just used a Miro board to plan the best vacation.
Okay, I'm on board.
See how Miro users save up to 80 hours every year by meeting less and doing more. Get on board at Miro.com with 3 boards free forever. That's MIRO.com.
Israel is 5,690 miles away from the U.S., 11 hours by plane. Hate travels faster. In a comment, in a post, in a second. Jewish hate is up 388% in the U.S. Black hate, Muslim hate, and Asian hate are up too. When one hate rises, they all do. Let's stand up to all hate together. Share and wear the blue square from standuptojewishhate.org.
What's up, y'all? This is Neena Perez, and this is Straight Talk, No Sugar Added. And I know that you are here to listen to the best humans on the planet to grow, challenge, and transform your thinking. Let's do this. What's up, party people? I found somebody for y'all. I cannot wait to have a conversation with this man. His name is Brad Ritter. He has started the School of Grit. You already know. You know I love me some grit. All right. So after graduating from SEAL Fit, now that I have not done, which is a renowned as world toughest civilian training. I believe that's from the Navy SEALs, right, Brad?
You got it. Yep.
School of Grit is a lifestyle for those who despise mediocrity and want to take full ownership of their life and be a part of a team. And it's a proven system that focuses on physical, mental, and emotional, intuitional, and warrior spirit. This man is no freaking joke. I remember reading something a while back from a woman named Angela. Do you know Angela at all? Because she has something called Grit as well.
Oh, Angela Duckworth.
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. She's pretty amazing. So Brad, welcome to Straight Talk. I'm so glad you're here. How are you?
I'm doing great, Neena. Thank you for the awesome intro.
Thanks. I want to know a little bit more about you. I mean, okay, first of all, the SEAL Fit thing. Okay, you might be just a little cray-cray. Just a little cray-cray. So let's find out a little bit more about Brad. Who is Brad?
I get that a lot. Yeah. So, at the heart of it, I'm just a regular dude. At least that's what I think of myself as. But, family's number one to me. Awesome. Always has been. Grew up in a very loving, safe environment. Was very fortunate for that. I've married my beautiful wife, Leslie, for 17 years. I got 2 awesome kids. So, that's a little bit about my family. And then there's this like Navy SEAL thing. So full disclosure, I'm not a Navy SEAL. I don't want to be a Navy SEAL, but I'm 43, when I was 35, I just had this moment, life has lots of moments and sometimes you choose to take action. Sometimes you don't. And at the time, it was nothing crazy that happened. I had the self-talk going on in my head. Like, what am I here to do while I'm on this planet? What's my what am I passionate about? What's my purpose? Because by all accounts, I was quote unquote successful. I got the nice house, awesome family, nice car, but it's like, man, there's more. I'm missing something. And that's when I found Angela Duckworth's book, Grit. And it changed my life. Yeah, I saw her TED Talk. I don't know if you've seen it.
I have seen it. Yeah, I even took her grit test.
Me too. Yeah. So I scored like a 2.2, which was like grittier than maybe 30% of all the people that took it. And I'm very competitive. So that's what that's what launched me on my path. I said, there's something to this. Like if grit is, one of the biggest indicators of success in life, like who doesn't want to be successful? And I was like, right now, I guess I'm not gritty. So how do I get some of that?
Right, right. Isn't
Yeah.
that something though? Because, something like, especially with like physical fitness, things like that, is something that I've been very open about on my podcast that I've struggled with for a
Sure.
long time. On her grit scale, I got a 3.7, right? So
Hmm.
like, I think she said like more than 50% of the population, blah blah blah. But I think that a lot of that maybe developed because of such a hard life that I did have growing up, right?
I would say
It's
so. Yep.
Yeah, because see, from knowing just you just these few moments and also reading your bio, I would have naturally put you on the very high end
Hmm.
of the grit scale,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
So tell me what that meant to you then. So when you saw that score, what did that do for you to you internally? What
It was
was
a
that?
shot to the gut, I mean,
Mm,
can your ego take it? I had to kind of
right.
check my ego because everybody thinks they're rough and tough. But to your point, so if I heard you correctly, it sounds like you had a lot of adversity probably
Yeah.
growing up. I
Hmm.
didn't. I
Right.
didn't. I came from a loving family. My parents are still married. We never had to worry about having a roof over our head
That's
or
amazing. I
food
love
on the
that.
table. We were middle
Hmm.
class. We
Right.
definitely weren't rich, but I knew we weren't poor because you always
Right.
knew who those sections of people were in
Right.
school. And that's no fault of my parents. I mean,
Of
it was a
course.
great upbringing, but I didn't really have to deal with true adversity. You know what I mean? Like I didn't have to battle cancer or bury a lot of loved ones or get deployed
Right.
or
Right.
go through just some crazy event. I mean, my life wasn't peaches and cream. I mean, I got picked on and stuff like that, but compared to other people, especially like motivational speakers you might hear, it's like I didn't have any of that
Right.
experience. Mine was the
Right.
opposite.
Right.
So again, going back to Andrew's book, I'm like, how do I get grit? Well, she says you can grow it from the inside out and from the outside in.
From
And
the
I was
outside
like,
in.
I
Yeah.
want to grow it from the outside in. So I went on to YouTube. I went on to YouTube and I typed in world's toughest civilian training, and this video popped up. And it's by a
Okay.
guy named Mark Devine, former Navy SEAL, 20 years, I think he had, former commander. And he puts on
Wow.
this camp called SEAL Fit, and it's modeled after Hell Week, which Hell Week in Navy SEAL training
Yeah.
is a week of no sleep and just
Right.
constant movement. Like it's just beat down city, right? Physical,
But they
mental,
but they
emotional.
actually they actually so they took that same training and for you guys, for civilians?
So they watered it down.
Okay. I was gonna say,
Yeah,
holy shoot.
let me preface it. They watered it down, so we didn't have machine guns going off by us and stuff.
Right.
And it wasn't a full week. It was 50 hours though. It was
Wow.
50 hours
That's still a
straight
lot.
of
Yeah.
nonstop movement, no sleep, very minimal food. And it
Wow.
pushed me literally to completely out of my comfort zone, physically, mentally, emotionally.
Mhm.
And what I discovered was who I was. I found
Mhm.
out my character, and we had about 50 people sign up. And at the time I was 35. I was one of the oldest dudes there. I have a lot more. Well, I'm wearing a hat. I have gray hair. I had a little bit back then. They called me Gramps at 35 because
That's messed up.
all the other dudes in there were like, they were younger and they're actually
Right.
trying to be SEALs or go into spec ops or whatever. So it was just funny. But you know what? We lost half of them. We
I'm
lost half of them.
sure. I'm
And
sure.
and the reason why, it wasn't anything physical. I mean, these were all studs that showed up. It was the 6 inches between your ears.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
being able to control that mental dialogue and
Mhm.
just making it through. Yep.
So when you said that you found out who you were, what did you find out?
I
What
f-
did you what was
I
that?
found, yeah. So I would say I wasn't operating very high. I didn't feel as a husband, as a dad. I felt like I
Mhm.
was very it was all about me. Even though I had a
Mhm.
family, like I kind of came first, right? Like lions
Mhm.
eat first type mentality.
Right.
And what I learned out there was extreme service to others, because
Mm.
the unique thing about this event is they're not there to just break you down and make you quit. That's actually pretty easy to do. They're there to break you down, get you to that breaking point, and then they're going to teach you the tools and tactics to
That's
persevere.
good.
And what I learned there was, you can't make it through that camp by yourself. Like
Right.
Rambo, although it was a great movie, I love
Right.
Rambo. It's fake. Like
Right.
it doesn't exist. Like
Right.
everybody's had help somewhere. So at
Right.
some point, you're gonna have to check your ego. You're gonna have to check your pride and
Mhm.
ask for help. And guess what? Most people like to actually help other people. It's like a win-win for everybody. So that was the big thing I learned out there, service to others. And when I got back, man, I was reborn. And I thought, how can I bring this feeling to other people without having to sign up for the 50-hour boot camp and getting the snot kicked out of you? Yeah.
Right. So when you got home, did you feel like a better husband? Did you feel like a better dad? Like, were you coming in at it? Like, did they notice also the change in you?
They didn't even kind of know who I was for the first couple of days. And I guarantee I had a little bit, just a touch of probably post-traumatic stress, just from being up, being yelled at, that sort of thing. And yeah, they noticed a big shift, not that I became this like perfect father
of course
or anything,
that would be a lie. We could shut down the interview if that's the case.
Yeah, that's a complete lie. Yeah, I definitely still have my issues and deal with the same stuff day in, day out. But you know what happened? Mentally, life didn't become easy, but it became easier because I had put myself in purposeful adversity and pushed myself so far that I was like, okay, that's the outside. That camp's the outside. Everything else just is kind of falling on into the inside for me. And it's like, now it's sort of like, hey, bring it. I have a saying in our coaching crew, like, you don't have to get ready if you stay ready.
Right.
So just take that mentality.
Do you think that's what you needed? You know how we talked about it a little bit in the beginning about, me going through a lot of adversity in your life and you not having that. Do you think that that's what you needed, was that little bit of adversity?
Yeah.
I think,
huge proponent of it, especially with kids these days.
Yeah. Oh, good.
I mean, here we go. We're opening up a can, but let's do it.
Yeah.
So I think we're too comfortable. We're growing up in the most comfortable generation ever. And I see it with our kids.
Yeah.
And quite frankly, it makes me sick.
Yeah.
It just does. Because I'm like, you guys have no idea,
Right.
And you know what? It's not their fault, so to speak. Because we
raised them.
Yeah, we raised them, right? Like, hey, I'm not about everyone giving out a trophy, but guess who's giving out the trophies? It's the adults.
Right.
So it's like, take a look in the mirror.
True.
But I think you got to, right? I mean, back in the day, with the Spartans, their kids would go through, they'd go out in the wilderness and kill bears. And I'm not saying you got to do that, but I mean, we've kind of lost that rite of passage.
Yeah. I agree. And there's something for fighting for something you want to, I had my son very young. I have 2 boys and 2, I call them bonus children, but my 2 children I had very young. So my first child I had when I was 15 years old. Right. And so I was always a person full of grit. I always had to, okay, I messed up here, but that doesn't mean anything. I still got to finish high school. I still got to work my 2 jobs. I got to take care of my kid, that kind of thing. And I realized that because of that, my boys, they're 33 and 28, have a lot of grit to them. And it's because I had to have that grit because I was so young. Right.
Unbelievable. You are the epitome of what I call like a warrior class. Most people hear warrior, they think of a professional, fighter, military person, lover. No. I mean, yes, that's true. But I think everybody has a little warrior in them. And what you just said, being that single parent or raising a kid super young. I mean, no one's coming to save you. You got to save yourself.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I'm glad though, Brad. I'm glad nobody came to save me. It made me such a kick-ass type of person, right? And so even when my boys, when they were growing up, is when this thing started with the everybody gets a trophy thing.
Yeah.
And so they were like, oh, I said, what'd you get a trophy for? Oh, because I went to field day. I said, yeah, but what did you get a trophy for? Oh, because I went to field. I said, that's not a real trophy.
I love it.
And everybody used to be like,
throw it away.
Why did you say that to him? I said, he didn't do anything. He showed up to class.
He just showed up.
Exactly. I said, that doesn't count.
Exactly. I agree.
I think that's the Latina in me, maybe. I'm not sure, but
no, I love it.
I'm glad, right? Because I realized, I am a grandma now and stuff, and I also realize like a little bit of a younger generation, grandkids, whatever. And I'm looking at them and I'm like, oh my gosh, like you guys are completely living in your emotions. You don't have any idea what it is to come against something. I'm scared of that. I'm actually scared of that.
And
I hope
it's
we
some,
change.
yeah, I mean, yeah, I do too. But it's like you can do little things day in, day out to make yourself uncomfortable, and deal with resistance so that when life inevitably, because we all know that, right?
Yeah.
Life's going to hit you in the face. It's not a matter of
Yep.
if, but when, you'll at least be ready. I'm not saying it's going to be easy, but you'll at least have
Right.
some sort of foundation, some sort of
Right.
reference. Because man, if you haven't gone through anything before and then boom, it just smacks you in the face, it's good luck. As the saying goes, you don't rise to the occasion, you fall back to the level of your training.
Right. That's right. So you going to the school, I'm sure, also helped you transition. And you already said that they saw a transition for you at home.
Mhm.
Did you start to implement some of that grittiness or some of that to your kids as well? Do you have boys, girls? What do you have?
One each. So my
Oh, one
daughter's
each.
11 and
Cool.
my son's 8. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Do you
Yes.
make them like go out a bit and
Oh yeah.
like, yeah,
We
good,
so
good,
I'm fortunate. We have a gym in our garage, so I purposely did that. I
good.
built it over time, but because before, I'd go to some Globo gym and be there a couple hours. Well, but between being there and then driving, like I was gone 2-3
Mm-hmm.
hours, and they're
Mm-hmm.
like, "Hey, where's Dad? Oh, he's working out again. He's working out again." I thought, okay, I want to bring this here so that I don't have to leave, but then they're going to
Right.
see it and then they'll want to hopefully participate. So, and
Yeah.
that's what we have. I mean, do they work out with me every day? No, but they, once or twice a week, that's my expectation. And
Good.
I got a whiteboard. They can write their own workout up there and
Good.
do it together. So 100%.
Yeah, I like that, Brad. I
We
like
live
that.
pretty close to their school, so like my daughter walks to school, which I think is just awesome because
Yeah, it
hardly anyone
is.
does that. And then I'm a
Yep.
big proponent of I just recently got into this 3 years ago, martial arts. So I do
Good.
martial arts with my kids as well. And I
Awesome.
tell you what, as a parent, that is one of the most rewarding things you can ever do with your kids because forget about learn how to fight and kick ass and self-defense. That's a whole nother thing. I'm talking about just learning like confidence, right? Like being able to
Right.
get up in front of
Right.
a group and deliver a form or something like that, going through promotion tests, seeing them fail and then seeing me fail and
Right.
fall and getting back up. It's been
That's
just
good.
unbelievable. I've loved
Yeah.
it.
That's beautiful because they also see, oh wait, dad fell and got back up. Psh,
Hmm.
I got this. I
Yeah.
got this, you know?
You're going to fall a
That
lot,
yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
get used to
Yeah.
it. That's why I say, hey,
Yeah,
get used to it.
exactly. Get used to it. I love that. No, I really do because I think this is, I don't know if you know, do you know a podcaster out there named Jeff Lopes?
I do
Do you know
not.
Jeff Lopes?
I don't
I
think
have
so.
to introduce you to him. I think
Okay.
you'd be amazing on his podcast. Anyway, he speaks to dads. And he owns, I don't know if you know Kimura Wear, but Kimura Wear is a boxing gear and all that. He's the CEO and the owner of Kimura Wear.
Sweet.
And he is a huge proponent of exactly what you're talking about, grit, and then having your kids be involved with it as well. Like he works out
Yeah.
with his kids, like all of that. I think
So
you two
cool.
would hit it
Oh,
off
I'd love it.
big
I'd
time.
love it. Yeah, it'd
So
be
I'm going to
great.
introduce you to him, but back to you. Okay. So,
That's all good.
so, so let me talk to you about the School of Grit then. Did the School of Grit come after your experience?
Yeah, it
And
did.
yeah, so tell me about
Yep.
that.
Yep. So I got back from Kokoro Camp in 2015, I want to say. And then I wrote down on a piece on my flight home, I wrote down just kind of all the events I went through over the 50 hours and put it away for safekeeping. But what happened was people were interested because those same people that thought I was crazy. Why are you doing this? You're psychotic. Like, why do you need to do this? Tell me about it. You made it. Oh my God,
Right.
I can't believe you made it. Like,
You
tell me
made
about
it.
it. And they could tell, like, dude, something's
Right.
just you're just different. Like, I don't know what it
Right.
is. You're just different. And they inspired me to write a book. So I actually wrote a book called School of Grit, and it
Awesome.
published in March. And it's about why I chose to go to the camp, my experience there. It takes the reader through every evolution, hour by hour, but then it digs into this is the lesson that the SEALs were teaching me. And by the way, this is how you apply it to life. And then I give readers
I
a
love
challenge. I give the readers a challenge to do at the end of every chapter. Again, trying to bring purpose.
That's
Because I'm just a
good.
proponent now of bringing purposeful adversity into your life to help unlock
Yeah.
your character and all that good stuff. So it started with a book. And then, as I mentioned earlier, I'm like, I want people to experience this though. And I found that through coaching. So School of Grit is a coaching service that I provide. And it's very much like a school. So every month we have guest instructors come in and we talk about anywhere from physical training to nutrition to how do you build mental toughness? How do you build emotional resiliency? How do you build grit with your relationships, with your spouse, entrepreneurship? And then we dig a little bit into, which I think it's important, especially nowadays, like just basic self-defense. Like how do you protect yourself? Situational awareness, all that good stuff. So that's how we're designed. It's like a school, and we've got calls set up, usually about 8 to 10 every month. They're different days, different times. Attend the calls you have an interest in. Don't attend the ones you don't really care about. And there we go. So we've got that set up. That's group coaching. And then I do also very smaller, intimate group. We call them boat crews. So I try to cap it at about 5 people. So very small, very intimate. And it's a lot more hands-on. They meet with myself and the head coach. And we take them through about a 6-month-long program. And that's been very transformational as well.
I
So
bet.
yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, that sounds like a really good mastermind right there going
Yeah,
on.
mastermind. That's basically what it is. And then
I love that.
I've got I've had this idea for the last couple of years. I'm going to make it happen next fall, and I'm working on it right now. I want to have a live event. I want to have my own live School of Grit event where you come and transform yourself and learn some skills. And I want to purposely put yourself into uncomfortable situations, safe, uncomfortable situations. We'll teach you how to get out of it or make it through. And then you'll go back home and know how to do some cool stuff. Right.
That's really cool. Do you mind sharing like a little example of something that you say would be an uncomfortable situation?
Yeah. So I have a fear of heights. But I make myself kind of do that stuff. So when I teach mental toughness, I break it down to 4 areas. The first is breath, being able to control your breath, because if you can control your physiology, you can control your psychology. So we'll work on some breath exercises you can do. Then we touch on like positivity, just being of a positive mindset. The third is visualization. So being able to see yourself victorious, as the saying goes, victorious warriors first win in their minds before going onto the field of battle. So that type of thing. And then the last one's like goal setting. So just being able to take big, gnarly, scary goals and chop them down.
That's awesome.
So we would have a classroom on that, and then we'll be like, okay, cool. Here's my head cadre, so-and-so. We're going to go rappel from this 80-foot tower now. And it's like the pucker factor goes like this.
Right.
Yeah. It's like, oh my God.
Right.
I got to go.
Like,
we're going to go do it now. Yeah.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
Like, well, what happened was.
That's an idea of what you can expect. So it's going to be definitely like classroom and then hands-on. Yep.
That's really great. I mean, that's going to really break people out of a lot of things, because once you start to realize that one thing actually attaches to another, and like once you start to break one thing, all the other stuff kind of flows, right? Do you feel that way?
Yeah, and I think the common denominator in a lot of it is fear. To me, it's the ultimate F word.
Oh yeah,
fear.
Yep.
It's the reason you ask for the promotion at work. It's the reason you do or don't ask so and so out to the prom. I mean, just about everything can be tied to some area of fear. So if you can learn to control that, I mean, it's just going to set you up for success in the future with all the different things you're going to be presented with. And I like to say that fear is a good thing, because I like to say that those who are the most fearful have the opportunity to also be the most courageous. Because if you think about it, like my wife, for example, I'll give you an example. She's deathly afraid of snakes, like so bad that when our kids were small infants, we were walking on a trail, snake came by, she ran away
and left the
kids. And I'm like, Leslie, what are you doing? You're leaving me here.
That is hilarious.
Like that afraid. So I don't have
Right.
that level of fear. I'm not crazy about snakes, but I mean, I could pick one up and move one if I had
Right.
to. So it's like if a snake came by and I go to pick up a snake, am I showing courage? Well, I would say no, because I'm not scared.
Right.
But
Right.
if my wife picked up a snake or even got close to one, is she showing courage? Heck yeah, she is.
Right.
So that's why
Right.
I say that, fear is, a lot of us have fear. You just got to be able to, it can be used for good. You got to learn to control it. Otherwise it will
Mhm.
control
Mhm.
you. It'll
Mhm.
control you in your life. So
Mhm.
yeah.
Yeah, I use fear in my life as an acronym is to face and eliminate all restrictions. So every time I like see something and I feel like it's restricting me from something I want to do or
Yeah.
something, I face it and I eliminate it, and then I go
Yep.
for it.
It's better.
Because
It's better than the other one, right? Which is F everything and run.
yeah, I've never
You
heard
ever
of
heard
that
that
one,
one?
but that's
Yeah. Yeah.
no, but I
That's the
love
other
that.
side of it. Yeah.
Yeah, that is the other side. And I think, um, the- I think it's also because of the things I've been through, right? I mean,
Yeah.
I've been through domestic violence, I've been through being homeless, I've been through all of that stuff. So I had no choice, Brad, but to face them because they were there, right? I mean, they were there. Right. In the
Yeah.
domestic violence of my life, he put a gun to my head and pulled the trigger, and the safety jam got,
Oh my
jammed on
gosh.
the gun. And that's why I'm here today. And so I think about that and I say, I had no choice. I had to face the barrel. I had to. It was in my face,
Like literally in your
like
face.
literally. Yeah, literally. And I feel like as bad as those things were, they were also great things that I took as a way to overcome when I'm
Mm,
really afraid, you
mhm.
know? So it's funny how you can really program your mind to have those new pathways where something that should have been so tragic that cripples you can be something that you use to catapult you forward,
Were you able
right?
just to do that on your own, or did you have an outside
No.
just influence? Or because that's just
Yeah.
amazing. Because what you
Yeah.
hear in today is you hear about the reverse of that, right? Like
Mhm.
those bad, terrible situations happen, and then people kind of let that like get the woe is me
Oh
mentality
yeah.
for like the rest of their lives, But
Yeah.
you did the opposite, which is just freaking
Yeah.
amazing. So yeah,
Well,
you got
I
me
had no
really curious
choice,
now. Yeah.
right? Yeah, I had no choice but to survive. I'm a survivor by nature, right?
Hmm.
So I think that's innate in me, just to not be a victim all the time. Did I have some victim mentalities? 100%.
Yeah.
Did I need therapy? Of course, I had PTSD. Of course, I did, right?
Right.
But it also, I have to take responsibility for me, and I've always been that way. And like I said, I was pregnant at 14. I had a kid at 15 years old.
Yeah.
I had no choice. I had to be looking. I said, I got to go to school. I got to take care of my kid. I got to go to work. I got to do that. And I'm still in high school. I'm in ninth grade.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
So you got to do what you got to do, or life will swallow you up and spit you out. So
Absolutely.
we can't have
Well,
that, Brad.
kudos to you, because
I'm
man,
not
that's
doing it.
awesome.
I'm not going to Seal Fit anytime soon, but
Are you sure? I can get you a ticket.
That's a
There's
little
yeah,
cray cray. I'm not
yeah.
doing all of that. But have you ever thought of going back? Did that ever even cross your mind of trying to do that again?
I went back, but this
You
time
did?
as an assistant instructor, because I wanted to experience it
Wow.
on the other side, and that was just really, really transformational. And actually, I got to see one of my buddies go through, John Burton. If he's listening to this, it was just a magical moment. But I have been asked that if I ever wanted to go back to it, I'd have to have a strong enough reason to. And
Yeah.
a
Yeah.
lot of our goals, a
That's
lot of the things
fair.
we're working on right now, whatever, if it's promotion at work, or someone's writing a book, or they're learning an instrument, it always boils down to why. And if your why is
Mhm.
strong enough, I think that'll overcome just about any resistance.
Mhm. Mhm.
I just don't have a reason to go back, because I,
Yeah.
kind of like
That's
one and done.
fair. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's fair. And I think all of us go through stuff like that in life, right? Where you will
Yeah.
push yourself to the limit for that moment, for that thing, right? But if
Yeah.
you already have done it and you don't have to do it again, why? Why you wouldn't do it again? And you wouldn't do it to your full capacity either, right?
That's right.
Yeah.
And I mean, hey, I'm a family guy, right? That's why I
Right.
started off saying I
Right.
literally put my life on hold for like 6 months and just did
Right.
nothing but train.
Right.
That was my life. I ate, slept, and breathed that camp. So
Right.
I know what it takes. And I don't think I want to put my family through that again.
Yeah.
My wife would probably think I'm really crazy this time and be
Right,
like, no,
right.
that's not happening. But I am a big believer though, in still pushing yourself.
Yeah.
So we'll do part of our coaching involves, physical. So we'll have physical challenges that we'll do that will design to push you past your
Mm-hmm.
comfort zone and things like
Mm-hmm.
that. So
Mm-hmm.
we actually just got done with one, and it was such a transformational experience. It was all you had to do was walk. So you just had to walk, but for 24 hours. It was a 24-hour walk. And
All you had to do was walk.
It was amazing. It was amazing, Neena. So maybe you'll sign up for it next year because we're going to make it an annual thing.
I have to see what my why is for that, Brad.
Okay.
I'll
Hey,
let
touche.
you know.
I love it.
I'll let you know. So tell me about, who you're helping right now. So are you helping businesses? Are you helping individuals? How are you doing your like group coaching and stuff like that?
Yeah, it's actually both right now. So right now we do group coaching. So it's open to any gender, any age. What I like to
Right.
say is we're working on developing the warrior class
Okay.
of society. For people that will get crystal clear on their purpose and just go after those goals, like no matter what, and
Okay.
not be afraid. So that's what the coaching pretty much focuses on.
Mhm,
And then, I am working with corporations, businesses as well. I've been brought in to speak. Right now, I'm not saying no to anything.
Right.
I'm just
Yeah.
kind of putting my radar out there, and if the
Right.
universe is talking, and if I feel it, if I'm like, yeah, this is a good
Yeah.
fit, like, hey, game on.
Yeah. I was just going to ask you that because I didn't really see anything on your bio that said you are a motivational speaker or anything like that. You're not doing that right now?
I do it. I just don't
Okay.
put that on there.
Okay.
When I hear motivational speaker, I think of Saturday Night Live and
Oh.
Chris Farley, if you know the skit I'm talking
Yes.
about. Like, yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
I enjoy doing it. Yes.
Right.
But
That's
yeah.
funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, you need a TED Talk is what you need. You need a TED Talk.
That's
I
what I
think
need. Okay.
I think you need a TED Talk. I think, and the
I like
reason
it.
I say that is because I love what you have to say, and I love what you're bringing to the table. I think it's relevant right now for this time. I think people are looking for something more in their life, right? We've gotten too saturated with the social media world,
Mhm.
and people are truly, I think, let me just speak for me. I see that a lot of people are losing their way because they're too focused on too many things or other people's lives.
Yep.
And I think we have to get our head from here up. We're looking down on our phones. We should be looking up into life, right? So
Absolutely.
I think what you're doing is fantastic. Fantastic.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
And I can't wait. I want to read your book. I am not going to be walking 24 hours, not at the moment.
She says
Okay,
that
but
now. We'll see if that changes.
hey,
in
yeah,
next
that's
year.
true. That could change. You
'Cause I tell
just
you what,
never know.
my wife joined me. And I tell you what, it was awesome. It was so
Was
cool
it?
to go. Yeah, it really was.
it? She
It
wasn't
really was.
throwing anything at you after a couple of hours.
Hey, I got to play doctor. I was taking care of her blisters on her feet, and helping her out with nutrition and
Yeah, you're
there
not
towards
helping
the
me
end.
out at all. You're not helping me out at all with the blisters on the feet. Okay.
Yeah, okay.
Just saying. Oh, Brad, this was so much fun. You are really a great guy. I really like what you're doing, and I wish you much, much luck with this. I do want to, connect you with some people that I know you would be excellent
Right
for to connect with. So before I let you go, though, I know I have a phenomenal audience, and they're always like asking questions and DMing and following the people that are on the show. And so I'd really love them to know how to find you, maybe work with you, get into your school of grit, all of that great stuff. So give us all that download.
Yeah, right on. You got it. First off, if you're interested in the book, it's on Amazon right now. Just search up School of Grit. You'll see
Love
it.
it.
Yeah, and that's just been an absolute joy to get that out in the world. And then if you're interested in just finding out more about me, my coaching program, all that good stuff, just go over to schoolofgrit.org. So that's schoolofgrit.org, not .com. Somebody else owns that domain. I'm not paying for it right now. So it's
That's right.
It's schoolofgrit.org, and you'll
Mhm.
find out what I'm all about, what I offer. You'll see my social media links, all that good stuff.
Yeah. Oh, that's great. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being on Straight Talk and talking to me and my audience. I appreciate you very
My
much.
pleasure. I had
Thank
a
you.
great time. Thanks, Neena.
Yeah, thank you. Hey guys, thank you so much for listening. You are the best, okay? I have the best podcasting community ever. I really do. And I appreciate you guys being on here. Make sure you go on to winject.com/register, winject.com/register, and register for my free community because I want to be really connected with you, and I want us to brainstorm and be with each other and connect in a deeper way. If you are looking for coaching, please make sure that you also email me at hello@straighttalknosugaradded.com. I work with women and I help them develop that business that they are envisioning in their hearts so that they can win. Thank you guys so much for being here. Love you, love you, love you. This is Neena Perez, Straight Talk, No Sugar Added. Until next time.
Jake Knapp is the inventor of the design sprint and the New York Times bestselling author of the book Sprint. He's also the co-founder of Character, a venture fund for early stage startups. How and why did you start using Miro?
I came from this position of thinking, I don't want to be doing stuff online, to thinking now when I do a sprint in person with a company, it's like, we're going to use Miro, even though we're all in the same room, because that's a better way for us to get this work done. As an investor, we're basically investing in their ability to solve problems. We're saying, we think this group of people is going to be able to solve a problem in a really great way and create value by doing it. And actually, you need to give people the tools that can help them make decisions, help them collaborate, help them visualize and see things in a different way. And Miro does all those things. So to me, at least as an investor, I'm thinking, give the team the tools that are going to help them think, that are going to make the most, brighten their skills as smart folks. And Miro is at the top of that list for me.
It's easy to lose sleep when you're worried about your health insurance plan. But when you have a family counting on you to take care of them, having the right coverage is more important than ever. That's why Anthem Blue Cross and Blue Shield is here to help. With low to no cost plans for you and your family, so you never go it alone. That's our Anthem. Click to learn more.